Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. This is BDF44 coming at you with another video. Laying down in this bed, trying something different with the angle because I'm lazy and I'm having a good time with that. But what I came to talk to you about today, I'm on my Laker conversation tip. I'm gonna make an entirely different channel for that. So if the videos tend to blend together, Lakers versus other topics, pay it no mind. Anyway, yeah, the Lakers. Lonzo Ball, LeBron James. Um, I'm looking at their games, and they both have the same strong points. And what I mean by that is they're both really gifted passers. They're both really gifted at seeing the floor, thinking the game. Um, and I guess what I'm saying, what it really comes down to is obviously they're not the same. They're nowhere near the same. They won't be the same. Nothing like that. All I'm saying is the things that they consider both being good at, same thing. Excuse me. So right now the Lakers have a blank canvas of a roster. Obviously they're in shambles right now in terms of trying to figure out the front office. But I'm moving past that in terms of thinking ahead of that. I'm thinking past that. I'm assuming that Ty Lue will be our coach, which is something I've warmed up to. I'm okay with that. I don't love his defensive prowess per se, and I don't like the idea of counting on him being a championship caliber coach when he was coaching an Eastern Conference team that was led by LeBron James. That's kind of like a shoe in for the finals. I think I could have coached him to the finals during that era in that conference, but that's not why I think Ty Lue should be considered. It's not something I'm shooing away in terms of considering him as a player coach, a coach for this team. I think that what he brings to the table more than anything is just extreme amounts of experience in pressured situations. Extreme amounts. And what I mean by that is championships with the Lakers. Sometimes he had to fill in for Derek Fisher. I remember one year against the Spurs. I think that was the second round. Derek Fisher went down. He was our starting point guard in a playoff situation. We didn't win that year. I don't think we won the series, but he certainly played a big hand in being able to maintain stability as a team. So from just a familiarity standpoint, obviously we know Ty Lue very well. We drafted him. I used to call him the Blur because he was the fastest player that I'd ever seen in a Laker uniform wearing number 10. Super fast. So I remember Ty Lue as a player, and I've watched him over the years develop as a sound coach. And a lot of times it gets lost, but he was a part of that Celtics team that went against us and beat us in '08. He was assistant coach on that team with Doc. So this is someone who understands both the culture of Los Angeles, the culture away from Los Angeles when it's time to win, and of course the culture of LeBron James and how to, I guess, coach him. I guess it's flat saying it that way. You just have to know how to coach LeBron James. And this is somebody who's done it and done it successfully. So I welcome him. But what I want to talk about in terms of the Lakers and LeBron James and Lonzo Ball is what I was saying in the beginning. Is just basically this. We need to surround them with shooters. These are two facilitating minds. They both play two different positions. I would preferably like to see them on the court separately so we can have them both run their own thing. Because I think if you watch UCLA, you watch some of Lonzo's college footage, you'll see that he's best when the ball is in his hands and he could push the ball forward to players that are streaking down the lane or players that are in position to shoot the ball. That's when he's at his best. Sort of like in that 15 seconds or less type of thing, like the Suns had back in the day. That's the kind of system I think Lonzo would ultimately thrive in. I think we need to listen to Lonzo's father when he discusses pace and that type of thing, because that was the type of game that that he raised his sons playing. And that's something that I think teams need to really take into consideration when considering the ball kids, is that they do play fast. And they're at their best when they play abnormally fast. And we haven't given Lonzo a chance to show us what he can do in those situations. Because one thing that I notice about that kid is he's really, really good at reading situations on the fly. Half court settings and stuff like that, that's not his strength. He needs to work on that. But when it's time to get on the fast break and you see two guys, two wing defenders, coming at you, and you got two options, he's going to make the right decision in that situation. That's just an example. He's going to see the play that he needs to make, and he'll make the right play as he develops going forward. That's just his gift. Mechanics are his issues. He just has to put in the work over the next several years to make his mechanics work so that he can execute the way that he sees the game. I think that's what went wrong with a lot of players over the years. They thought the game, but they could never get their mechanics right. Lonzo's, that's going to be the test for him. Lots and lots of hours in the gym and working out. And as far as LeBron James just needs to be a part of a team where he doesn't have to carry the load. But we can't underestimate the load he's capable of carrying when he has enough help. And I guess the thing that we have to be careful not to do is to surround him with too many ball-dominant players. And I looked up and I saw Brandon Ingram's one of the top effective ISO players in the league. My opinion, LeBron James shouldn't be playing with anybody that's that effective in isolation, because you're going to bring down the effectiveness of their game. Brandon Ingram's not going to be able to do that isolation Brandon Ingram thing if we're running the proper stuff for Lonzo Ball and LeBron James. So that right there is something that we're going to have to consider when we're going forward. As much as I enjoy Brandon Ingram's game and think he's going to develop into an elite isolation scorer, he's already turning into an elite defender. But we have to take into account that when you have an ISO scorer, that just takes the ball out of motion and out of the hands of the people who can get it into positions to pass and make plays for others. It turns into a one-on-one type of thing. And as we've seen many times, it's just not an effective way to win games, win championships right now. You can win games that way, but when it comes down to scheming guys in a 7-game series, the ISO scorer is probably not going to be able to win in this era. So Brandon Ingram, couple that with his health scare, the blood clotting, we got to make a decision on BI. And I'm a fan of him. He's our youngster. We watched him grow up, and he's getting ready to turn into something really good. But I just don't think Lonzo and Ingram and LeBron are a good trio. That I just don't like the fit. BI needs to be in a situation where he's given the ball and asked to go. Just go. Take us home. Beat the person in front of you. And as he does that more and more, he's going to get better at it. So he needs to be in a system where he's not asked to not do that and take a back seat and, stay spot up and shoot. We need spot up shooters. We need to catch and shoot guys. The J.J. Redicks, guys like that. I would love for us to find a way to snatch Lauri Markkanen out of Chicago somehow. Players like that who can just shoot the ball. Get us that. You surround Lonzo and LeBron with shooters, and you will be surprised at how much better this team is going to be. And I'm a different kind of basketball fan. I personally prefer the Lonzo Ball, LeBron James style of play. I like the more passing, the better. But as I've come to realize, passing is nothing if you can't get players that are just going to convert. You need offensive-minded players that truly, truly shoot the ball. One of the reasons why I always differ with the opinions of Stephen A. Smith is because he puts such an emphasis on shooting. I've come to realize that he had something right there. You just got to have a knockdown shooter. It's great to have guys that think the game. It's great to have guys who can score or create scoring situations in difficult circumstances, guys who can break, players down and read and pass and just create. But at the end of the day, if you have a spam shooter, if you have a cheesy shooter out there, a Klay Thompson, you're going to be up. You're going to be winning. And the game is a lot simpler than I've appreciated it to be over the years. I prefer the Rondo style. I prefer just doing all kinds of passing, the spur type of basketball where the pass is everywhere and then somebody shoots at the end of like 7 incredible passes. That's the game that I like. But the reality is, if you got a guy that can just come down and shoot from freaking 40 feet like Dame Lillard, you won anyway. It's about getting easy buckets. It's fun to watch complicated plays, but the easier the buckets are and the better your defense is, the more likely you are to simply win the game you're playing. And yeah, so if we can get some guys like that, Bradley Beal's another guy that I hear us talking about. I would like to see him as a Laker, even though he does go on stretches where he can run cold, but I don't care. He can give us 30. CJ McCollum. There's so many young shooters out there. Devin Booker, Jamal Murray, even though we don't really like him here in LA as Lakers fans. But there's some young killers out there. We need to find them. We need to put them on our team. We need to go get the shooters. If we got this 10th pick in this draft or somewhere around the 10th pick. It's not, the lottery hasn't taken place yet. But I'm assuming it's going to be 10th, 11th, 9th, something like that. If we get one of those picks, I'm open to trading it. I'm looking at all these kids in that range. I don't love that range. I don't. I got to do more studying, but I'm not in love with the draft this year. After the first 4 picks, it becomes just a solid draft of projects. We don't need any projects. We need some win now guys. We need some guys that can come in and help LeBron James 3 years go smoothly. And that's it. And if we're bringing in Anthony Davis or somebody else, they're going to need shooters. And yeah, so that's the gist of what I'm saying. Get Bron and Zo shooters, and let them facilitate and get some easy ones through them. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about that. I hope everybody is enjoying their Cinco de Mayo. Probably gonna enjoy myself and relax. Not gonna do too much. But yeah, everybody be safe. Everybody enjoy the playoffs, and BDF out. Peace.